So as we know, last season the wide receiver room was something that was quite frankly subpar and really disappointing in terms of guys outside of Terry McLaurin. Did you have guys like Noah Brown step up at big times? Of course, but on a consistent basis and just the overall view outside of Terry McLaurin, it was kind of disappointing. Now you fast forward to this off season, and all of a sudden the wide receiver room is pretty stacked. So much so that if you go on social media, there are fans saying that this year two wide receiver could be on the bubble. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and Shawty is the winner. You can tell that Shawty.
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We had another Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video. We're going to be talking about this year two receiver and could he be in trouble and making this roster? Could he be on the bubble or potentially not making the roster? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So the Washington Commanders added yet another wide receiver to this wide receiver room with the drafting of 4th round pick Jalen Lane out of V-Tech. Now Washington also added more, obviously in free agency, from adding Deebo Samuel and bringing back Noah Brown and adding on Michael Gallup. So they've added a ton of talent to this wide receiver room. Is it notable names outside of Deebo for real and somebody that you expect to be a big contributor? No, but it's way better than what we had last season. And I was watching Louis T. Shout out to Louis T, of course, holding it down, doing his thing. And he recently just had a live video where in the title it was like Luke McCaffrey, essentially, is he on the bubble? Like, is he in trouble of not making this roster? And essentially what Lou was saying in his video was there have been this talks about it on Twitter of Luke McCaffrey being the odd man out because there are now a lot of receivers that are potentially in on making this roster. You look at a KJ Osborne, who a lot of people are forgetting about. He could potentially make this roster before Luke McCaffrey. That's a lot of people's opinions on Twitter. And if you don't believe my word for it, just go into Twitter, as I just did, and type in the name Luke McCaffrey, and you're going to see a lot of Commanders pages and fans and people turning on Luke McCaffrey and saying that, Jalen Lane is already better than him. But what I have to say to that, essentially what like Louis T said, is if you don't think Luke McCaffrey is making this roster, you're foolish. Like, unless he just is super bad in training camp and preseason and he's just not cutting it, which I find it very hard to believe, he's making this roster. I understand it's recency bias, so we're excited about the Jalen Lane pick for some of us, and we think he can be the deep threat explosion that we've been looking for since Darius Brown left. But we can't forget and lose sight that Luke McCaffrey was a 3rd round pick. So they have high hopes and high expectation for this guy to figure it out. How stupid of this organization would it be to cut a 2nd-year wide receiver that didn't even contribute or get the opportunities to on a consistent basis? And the little sample size opportunities that he did, for the most part, he made for it. And in the kick return department, I told y'all last season, and I'll stamp it, I liked Luke McCaffrey back there. Was he exciting, explosive? No, but he was secure for the most part, and he got the job done. So I didn't have an issue with Luke McCaffrey's production last season, and I think in year 2 it could be even more. The odd man out here is clearly KJ Osborne, who is not even on my radar of making this roster. No offense, but I think the 6, which you essentially know that we're going to keep, the 6 receivers, that is Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Lane, who are the locks, Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, and Luke McCaffrey. That's your 6, unless it's somebody else that I'm forgetting. And if I'm forgetting them, I'm sorry at this point. But KJ Osborne's not making this roster. Nobody else. That is your 6 receivers. And in my opinion, that is a much better supporting cast than last season. Of course, a lot of it is built off of potential and what we think we can get out of get out of this group. None of it is necessarily like set in stone outside of Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, but even that in itself is a much more upgrade than anything, because last year headed into the season, the only person that we knew we were going to get production out of was Terry McLaurin. Now we know we're getting production out of Terry McLaurin. We know we're getting production out of Deebo Samuel. A healthy Noah Brown, we know we're getting some sort of production out of him. There's just no way in hell that this organization, how good it is and how smart they are, they cut ties with a rookie, or excuse me, a second-year wide receiver for who exactly? It's not like there's nobody else behind them or somebody else that's also fighting for a wide receiver spot that can take it from him. No. Again, third-round pick. That is viable. In my opinion, that is the money round. That is the middle of the draft where you got to hit. That is the same round that we found Terry McLaurin in. Now, am I saying Luke McCaffrey is Terry McLaurin? No, not even having this potential. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you do not give up on your third-round pick after just one season in which a lot of the opportunities did not go his way, or he didn't really get an opportunity to show himself on a consistent basis. Had he would have had a full year, I still wouldn't have been on board with cutting him or releasing him, or, you know, moving on and trying somebody else and having him get his spot replaced. But the fact that he didn't even do that on a consistent basis just knows there's a lot left. His brother's Christian McCaffrey. I know he's working hard with him, and I just think big things are coming for LMC. So for the people on Twitter and socials that are foolish enough to believe that Jalen Lane is coming here to take his spot, no. Jalen Lane has his own spot. Luke McCaffrey has his own spot. Michael Gallup has his own spot, in my opinion. Does he have to make this roster? No. But in my opinion, it is for sure he's making this roster, because this is a former 1,100-yard receiver we're talking about here, okay? This isn't just no scrub. This guy can get active. He's back, and I think he's going to get active. That's why I'm so high on Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, because I'm expecting just some type of contribution, right? Luke McCaffrey doesn't even have to give us a real big sample size, bro, because you're already getting 1,100 minimum from Terry McLaurin, in my opinion, healthy. You're getting 1,000 minimum from Deebo Samuel, healthy. Noah Brown's going to give you healthy 400, 500, who I love. Michael Gallup, the sky is through the roof of what he could potentially do. He had a year off, so his body probably feels so fresh and ready to rock and roll. But just modest, I'm going to say he gives you 550. That's so much more than what we had last year. And Luke McCaffrey can chip in for 400, 500 minimum, but I think he'll even be better than that. I think Cliff Kingsbury's going to find better ways to use him, and I think this is going to be another year that he develops as a receiver. Remember, this guy was new to the position of wide receiver at Rice, so he's not a guy that's been playing the position for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years all of his life of football. No, this guy has recently changed the receiver and is learning along his way. And the fact, even though we got Jalen Lane and he could be a really good kick returner, punt returner, the fact that he also can be a punt returner, that being Luke McCaffrey, also heightens and ignites his chances of making this roster over someone like a KJ Osborne or over someone else at another position, right? You don't want to put Austin Eckler back there. He's too valuable to this offense, and we know how many concussions he had last year. Luke McCaffrey, again, not the best explosive guy, not going to be the most exciting return man, but he's going to get the job done, and that's all I look to care about when it comes to great return, you know? So I think Luke McCaffrey is not going anywhere. I know for a fact he's not going anywhere. Let me stamp that now. And if he is, I would be highly, highly surprised that they moved on from a second-year wide receiver with a lot of potential, man. So let me know what you guys think about this video, though, in the comment section. How do you think about it? Do you think the Twitter fingers, social media is telling the truth that Luke McCaffrey could be on the bubble? Or do you think Luke McCaffrey is set to have a better year, potentially breakout year, in 2025? Leave it down below in the comment section. As always, me boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so we really appreciate if we reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe, easy out there. Peace.
Never gave up on me. Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a laundry.